How you doing, everyone? I want to take a few minutes to share with you the story of how I got into debt and why I've now decided to become debt free. When I first started becoming interested in silver, I was thinking about being able to purchase a home and I wanted to be able to save, but I realized it would take a long time and I was afraid of having my purchasing power eroded by inflation. And I realized that silver was a good way to be able to save and put aside money and not have it eaten away by inflation over the course of time, maintain my purchasing power, possibly even see it increase. So that's what I began to do. And while doing that, I realized that I would also need to be able to qualify for a loan. So I started speaking with some lending agents and realized that I needed to improve my credit score. I didn't have really bad credit, I just had no credit history. And so I went into debt in order to build my credit. I took out a loan, I got some credit cards, I was paying all those on time, and slowly began to build my credit score. And when I got it to where they said it would have to be to qualify for a loan, I talked to them some more and found out about their lending guidelines and that you need to have a certain debt to income ratio that I'm not going to qualify for. So they only want a certain percentage of your income to go towards paying your mortgage. And they don't take into consideration someone like myself that doesn't drive and doesn't have a car payment, doesn't have gas and insurance costs, or the fact that you don't go to the movies or buy fancy clothes. None of that matters. It's a certain percentage of your income that they want to go towards your mortgage. So with that in mind, I don't qualify. Also, if I start looking at really cheap homes that might need repair or be in a less desirable area, they won't make a loan on a house under 60,000 or 50,000. There's a name for it. It's called like a high cost loan or it's a section something loan. Most lenders don't do that. So if I start looking at really cheap homes, they're not going to lend on that. So that's a big problem for me. Also, they're pretty strict on income verification and stuff. So without working for a big company and getting paychecks consistently, it's pretty hard to qualify for a loan. So I've realized all this over time. If you're self-employed, it's harder to qualify. So I still think silver is a great way to save over the course of time. But I'm realizing this whole credit game that I've been playing, trying to improve my credit score so that the lenders will work with me so I can get further into debt. It's not going to benefit me, and it's actually cost me a lot. I've paid a lot on interest. I've screwed up a couple times and had different late fees and overdraft fees. Some of that's separate from this, but bank overdraft fees. And I've realized that I need to get my financial house in order, and I don't need to be paying into this system of debt and paying in order to improve a credit score that's probably not going to benefit me. It's also a problem when you're trying to rent a place. They're tough on you about your credit score, your income verification, all that kind of stuff. So this whole game is just it's pretty crazy. I've got myself into it by choice, and I've decided to get out of it. I had a loan. I took out the loan only to improve my credit score. I've now closed out that loan. I've got some credit cards. I'm going to pay those off. And I might keep them open, but not use them unless I can immediately pay it off. So I know with a lot of you, I'm preaching to the choir, and a lot of you have given good advice about becoming debt free. And I've kind of opened my eyes to the fact that this credit and debt system is not going to benefit me. And they're not willing to work with me. So why should I be paying them? And it's kind of frustrating, but there's going to be other ways to do it. And if this isn't benefiting me, why do it? So I do have a credit card that gives me some reward points. So I'll probably pay that off. And then when I make purchases, I'll use that and immediately pay it off as if it were cash. But I'm done with being in debt and I'm done with running around trying to improve my credit score. It's costing me money. It's caused me a lot of frustration and aggravation. So if they're not going to work with me, why pay them? And just going to keep on trying to buy silver. I'm going to have a little slower pace here briefly while I try to pay off all my debt, but my debt's not that big, and without the cost of interest all the time, I'll be able to purchase more silver over the course of time. I've also, with respects to the housing, found out my best bet is most likely going to be to find owner financing. I found some that for like 25% down, they'll owner finance the home. And for me, that's probably going to be the way to go because, like I said, the banks and lenders don't seem to want to work with me. And it's pretty frustrating, but going to make the most of it. And I think if I keep saving in silver, I mean, most people are looking at what, 10, 20, 30-year mortgages. So even if it takes me 10 years, you put aside a little bit in silver each month, and after 10 years, maybe it'll happen. So not going to waste any more of what could be going into savings, paying interest. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments.